Welcome back into Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. This segment brought to you by BetOnline.net, your number one source for all of your betting needs and sports information. Really easy to use, free and available on all of your app stores. BetOnline.net. You want to get scores, reviews, podcast information, anything is right at your fingertips. Use BetOnline.net for the fastest way to place your wagers. We got MLB season, boxing, MMA, golf. Everything's still cranked up and rolling. And oh, yeah, we're about to get heavy into football season. BetOnline.net is where the game starts. We welcome into the program the man who is the beat writer for the Atlanta Falcons, for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, D. Orlando Ledbetter, joining me. Of course, you can follow D. Led on Twitter at DOrlandoAJC and check out his work at AJC.com. And D. Led, as we get ready for another training camp, what for you are going to be a couple of your most important position battles you're going to be watching?
Yeah, well, I just finished my story on the several turns heading into this training camp, starting with the quarterback. I mean, it's everything. Do you have a quarterback? Do you have an offensive line? Do you have any receivers? I mean, that's just the offense. You got a tight end that can catch. It's not a blocking type, but you don't know if they can hit him, get the ball to him. So everything over, no real givens unless you call Given and AJ Terrell at left cornerback. But other than that, 18 of 22 jobs that are open on this football team right now.
I don't remember a time since the Super Bowl that there has been as many spots in question. Coming out of the Super Bowl, you felt like your team was in pretty good shape. I don't think there's been a time since the Super Bowl that this much has been in flux for the Falcon starting position-wise, right?
About it, it hasn't been this way, in decades for sure. I mean, 2007 was a mess, but we knew that the quarterback going to jail. So, but other than that, the Leafs had a year under Coach Smith, and they were able to get something out of the rookie and build on it. They built that for years and stayed with it to Quinn. Or at least you had one unit on the field that you could maybe win some games with it. But right now, I guess the best players to kick. It's going to field goal people to death. That's that's one way to do it. But you're just at the beginning. You're at the ground floor of a rebuild, and they got some players. If these young guys they drafted, can you build around them? Can you use to them when your money gets right? That's the key to this year is, hey, develop these, find out, if these guys can play, and if they can, you keep them. If they can't play, go.
What do you think the percent chance of Ridder starting is this year? Pretty low? I mean, what do you think the percent is that he could actually win this job out of camp?
I think about 2%. It would have to be an injury. It'd have to because he's just not. It's just a big quarterback to the NFL. You have to limit the whole offense. A bunch of bubble screens like New England did with Mac Jones last year, but they had a good defense. So he doesn't have that here. You're gonna ruin our situation if you have to play him too early, where he's gonna be holding on the ball, getting hit a little bit with him, but you can't really get away with running a whole lot. We saw Hurts run a little bit, Lamar ran a lot, but then when it came to anything, yet he still won in 3 in playoff games. So 2% is Ridder starting, but I'm 100% with him being in there by the middle.
You and I have talked. I guess I didn't realize that the Falcons had the fourth fewest yards offensively in the NFL, and that's with Matt. That's with Matt and some of their weapons. I mean, I don't know how you take a step back from that, but how much better can they be offensively?
Well, it's got so they're not going to be running, the Matt Ryan play action fake offense. We're going to see a lot of RPOs, a lot of shotgun, and they're going to just try to grind John. Maybe even keep the defense off the field a little bit game with Patterson, Damian Williams, and whoever step. It's not going to be real exciting ball. They're going to try to, RPO it inside the numbers. It's just not real sexy, but they I don't know how line. So I'm thinking you're going to see some changes on that line. Fetty taking up maybe McGarry's spot. I think they're committed to Jalen Mayfield, but if like he did last year, they might have to turn to a veteran like a lot. And then at center, they tried to move Drew Dalman in there last year in the middle of this half. So kind of know who's going to win that spot. And so, clock yet, we're going to find out when they play the Jets. They scrimmage the Jets on 20th, and then they scrimmage the Jaguars. So we'll get to see Trayvon Walker come in here and see what he can do against the Falcons tackles and so forth. So they're going to get you in the exhibition season. He's going to actually play the players this year, which is, they were not ready for that opener against the Eagles, and it showed. And we, thought he was treating them like they had just came off the Super Bowl, and you can't do that with a team that's got to prove itself. And that lesson last year's a rookie coach, and this year he's gonna make them play. Send them out there. I don't know if you can get better by not playing. I know you can get better by playing, and so so we're looking forward to reporting on that.
If I told you that Tyler Algier will lead this team in rushing attempts this year, what do you think about that?
I would think that probably would mean that he didn't fumble the ball, which are his issues. Which is a one cut runner, and I guess he found some holes to run from. I mean, that could happen. It could certainly happen. I just don't, round pick. I mean, we're talking about the kid saying that ran for six. Alfred Morris, he was a 6th round pick out of James Madison 3 years in a row in Shanahan's offense. That's once he left Shanahan and Bobby Turner. So if the new running back tree can get this rookie 5th round pick rolling like Alfred Morris, coaching.
What's the likelihood, D-Led, of adding another piece, either offensive, defensive line? They have some money. They've kind of been pretty quiet about adding anybody. You think that there's still somebody in the mix before we get to the week 1 of the regular season?
Yeah, definitely, John. They also are priority on the waiver wire, and this isn't a surefire NFL guy. So, any big player they're gonna probably look at. They want to get an interior push. Myquan Graham are gonna get that shot at that other end. If they can't get it going, they can pick somebody up there. No question about it. I think they're happy with the linebacker, but injuries could change everything there. And the big one, Oliver can make it back from his knee injury. So, if you can't get him back in a nickel buyer, that doesn't cost a lot. anybody from the Bears or the Titans that get that's where all the Falcons front office people are from, and the Saints to some degree. The Saints players very well, so that's what they've been doing. They've been picking up their own players that they in Chicago or play with in Tennessee. They got good evaluations on pick them, but you still need somebody neutral like your national scouts and make sure you're not just picking people that you're comfortable with and so forth. You want available.
Last thing, D-Led. Deion Jones put on the PUP list. I think it's pretty convenient. Likelihood that we see him with the Falcons week 1.
I think it's a probably. Coach told me expected him to be here, but then he said things could change. So out. I haven't heard that they've been shopping him. But the fact came up with the other 4 contracts, Jake, Grady, and Matt Ryan. Nothing's happened to him one way or the other. Leads me to suspect that a demotion, maybe a salary reduction or something. Because Drew Rosenhaus, we checked with Deion's people, and Drew said no comment. He's usually got something to say, and I double back here with camp starting up to see if he's got any on Deion's situation. The sense is that, hey, they don't really like him, and they want to play him, match him up on people on third downs. Nobody won't come out, but that's what their moves say this offseason, that they got bigger linebackers to play in the, and he's too little to play on the edge of it. So it's kind of like he doesn't funny, and he's not a rah leader guy that can lead the room and kind of does his thing. And the new regime kind of wants that can rally the troops and lead, and it's going to be there on every down. And Jake Matthews, and they got rewarded with the extension. So interesting, and we're going to stay on top of that for everybody, John, and see how it unfolds if he turns up in Dallas.
Check him out at ajc.com. All of his work is there. Follow him on Twitter at DOrlandoAJC. D-Led, thanks so much, man. Appreciate you being a part of the show. Thanks for being part of Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery. We'll be back on Locked On Sports Atlanta.